Okay, so I just wanted to make this video to basically address, I think, a problem that is in the copywriting space, which is that a lot of copywriters don't actually point out that there's many different types. So often when people talk about copywriting, they do mean email marketing, which I'm a copywriter and that's not something that I do. Like there's plenty of like other um, copywriting niches and copywriting styles that are nothing to do with emails. So in this video, I just want to sort of establish that you need to pick which kind of copywriting you're going to do, because often these YouTubes and these gurus, they talk about advice for their style of copywriting, but then they're all doing different types of writing anyway. So it's, yeah, they're giving different advice for different things, and then people get confused. So I think in this video, I basically want to explain the different types and also how you can pick the one that you want to do. So I think the first one is the one that I've mentioned, which is email copywriting. So basically, how this works is you write emails for a client, and generally, they have a product that requires B2C customers. So basically, just ordinary consumers. So a very popular one is people that sell courses or sometimes other copywriters. So um, in this way, you write emails, you build their email lists, um, you create email like funnels and things like that, email sort of threads that that bring in customers to their product. Often e-commerce stores love, like I know a lot of people that do very well in e-commerce email marketing, because the emails when you have something in your basket and then you haven't paid for it yet, and then you get email and then you go back in, that's done by an email copywriter. That's there's a lot of money in that, because if a store is selling 200,000 pounds of products every month, and you can increase that by just 10%, like that's very valuable. And that emails do work in that respect. They do encourage people to do that. So that's the first type of copywriting. The second type is similar to what I do. So I'm an SEO copywriter. So I don't really do any emails. I do some emails, but they're not for that purpose. But for me, I write articles that go on websites. So in that sense, where the customers and traffic come from is SEO. So I write articles that go on a website, and then these go on Google. They get a lot of clicks, and they come into the website, and then people um, see the brand, and that's how I make my money. Um, this one is slightly different, and this one is better for brands that are bigger. So the problem is if email copywriting works for a single product or a single brand or like a smaller company, but how many emails do you answer from, say, a bank or a big company? You don't. But these brands still need a presence. They still need their marketing. They still need people to uh attract to their products. So that's basically what I do. And this involves pretty much, yeah, just writing articles, making their website nice, making landing pages, making, uh, you know, their sort of uh, brand guidelines, that kind of thing. And this is generally, uh, it can involve emails, but it's just not the same. And I know that a lot of other copywriters do this, but it's not as quite as like high returns as email copywriting, because that's the very exciting one that can um, bring in a lot of money, because people do like a commission basis where they say, okay, I don't want paying necessarily for each email, but I want to get a cut of how many customers you land, like 1% or something. Um, so that's a very flashy version. But this is a less flashy version, but in my opinion, is a much more sustainable version of copywriting. It's one that I am doing quite well in. I've reached about £3,000 a month now. So yeah, the third type is one that I see a lot of more experienced copywriters doing, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for younger copywriters, but it's like a brand copywriter. So on LinkedIn, I follow people that do this, and essentially you come up with their slogans and their brand guidelines, their image, um, their entire marketing campaign. You basically come up with it and you write it, and you charge a very good rate for this, because it's your expertise and generally your experience in, the industry for many years. This isn't something that I would do. I've been copywriting for a while now, maybe a couple of years, and I'm still, I don't think I'm qualified enough yet to, um, come up with an entire branding and slogan for a company. Um, so yeah, this one is not, as desirable, but it's something that maybe you can think about later down the line if you're more of an established copywriter, and maybe like throw it in as a sort of like side thing of your services as well. Like, okay, I'll come up with your brand image. Um, so yeah, those are pretty much the three types of copywriting that I think, exist. There's many others, of course. Like, businesses are changing all the time. They change like the wind. There's never going to be any time when, businesses aren't going to need marketing, and the way we consume writing is changing all the time. you know even even within my relatively short career of like 5 years, I mean, newsletters weren't a thing. Like, they're huge now. Everyone wants a newsletter. Everyone is interested in newsletter. Like, how we're gonna promote a newsletter? But this is a new thing. Like, it wasn't really really that relevant before. Like, people had newsletters, but no one cared. And I can see newsletters becoming a big thing in the future. So keep your eye out for new opportunities like that. Like, I envision another type of copywriter, which is specifically, uh, newsletter copywriters that offer a newsletter for a single person. So, for example, a CEO, um, might, need a newsletter, but he doesn't have the time to write it. So you can come as a newsletter copywriter and say, okay, I'll essentially be a ghostwriter for you online, and I will be your persona and everything like that. And I know that actually there's a lot of people that do, LinkedIn ghostwriting. That's another form of copywriting. So maybe there's four types of copywriting there, um, because there's a guy called Matt Barker on LinkedIn, and he does a lot of this, and he talks about it a lot. He's basically a ghostwriter. So companies and CEOs that want to grow on LinkedIn, but they don't have the time or they don't know how to do it, he writes for them or on their behalf. Um, and he's done very, very well from that. So when you're coming to copywriting, make sure you know what you're doing, or make sure you know the type of copywriting that you're interested in. Are you interested in more marketing and sort of systems? Then probably email marketing is for you. Whereas if you are like me, just you like writing, you're interested in the writing, you're interested in Google and search analytics and SEO, then definitely become an SEO copywriter. But if you're quite, you know, if you're very established, if you're a lot older, if you have a lot more experience in the industry and you're interested in like brand and stuff like that, then copywriting, becoming like a brand copywriter is a great option for you. Um, so yeah, if you want to know more about what I do, there's a link in the description for my Substack, which is basically, my newsletter where I talk about what I do, the things I write, and everything I do for my clients. So yeah.